What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. And join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Roman Reigns explains why he's been absent and when he could return, a new heel faction on Raw, Rusev's next plans are revealed, a recently returned WWE superstar is getting a huge push, abysmal ratings, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Hit the intro and let's get into it. Now our first story looks at Roman Reigns explaining his absence. Roman Reigns has been gone from the WWE since opting out of WrestleMania 36 due to the ongoing health crisis. However, Reigns spoke with TMZ in an exclusive interview to clarify where he's been gone, hoping to dispel the theory that he has stepped back due to a compromised immune system. We just had two newborn twin boys. They're 8 weeks old, so I had to make a decision for them. A lot of people, they think that it was based off my health and the history of my fight against leukemia. Talking to my doctors and stuff, I actually am fine and my immune system is good. So there you have it, Reigns' immune system has nothing to do with his decision. As he explained, the drugs that I take to fight the leukemia, they don't attack your immune system. It's my family, it's my children, they are my legacy. No matter what I do in this world, my children are going to be the ones to represent my name and carry our name forward. So I had to make that choice for them, to protect them being so young. Reigns has made his decision and it's his to make. With the big dog uncertain when the time will be right for his return, he's ruled out any definite return date. Hopefully the WWE won't put out a Reigns t-shirt, "I gotta protect my kids." Next up, the Revolt is in no rush to pick a promotion. The Revolt, aka WWE's Revival, appeared on the Talk is Jericho podcast to discuss their plans in the WWE as well as what awaits them in the future. It appears that the very talented team is in no rush to choose their next wrestling home. Dax Harwood, aka Scott Dawson, explained, "We're not in any rush to make a decision. There's so many tag teams out there that we want to work in Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW and New Japan. Not saying all those companies will want us, but that's our goal. The North and Impact, they're great. I'd love to work with them. The Briscoes, Gorillas of Destiny, Juice Robinson and David Finlay. On the top of the list is obviously the match we've heard about since 2016, us against the Young Bucks. There's a lot of people we want to work with, so we're not in any hurry to make a decision." With so many promotions unable to operate due to the health crisis, the Revolt may have to sit out for at least a few more months. In any event, Cash Wheeler, aka Dash Wilder, explained the Revolt's mindset. "We've gotten offers from multiple places that are interesting. We just got out of a long-term relationship. We're not looking for a rebound. We want to weigh the pros and cons and see what's out there. We're excited to sit back and relax. We get to be in control and call the shots." The idea of the Revolt touring a number of promotions sounds like a great way for the team to build up their reputation even further outside the WWE and test the waters, seeing which promotion is the right fit for them in the long term. Next up, Rusev reveals what he wants to do next. Now there's a lot of intrigue on where the big Bulgarian brute will go over to next. Many are suggesting AEW of course, but there could be other options. Well, in a recent Instagram post, Rusev revealed his next move, and it's not to do with wrestling. In fact, Rusev is now becoming a Twitch streamer.
So I got fired, right? Professional wrestling, blah blah. Who cares? Exciting news are going on. You know, this is like, you know, when you're kind of in a... Anyways, we're gonna unbox some cool stuff today. We have a brand new PC that I'm going to build from kind of ground up. Not really, but it sounds cool. None of the thing is sponsored, it's all me. I bought all these things because I like playing video games. And two, we're going to start a Twitch channel. I don't know if my light is okay. How's my light? Is it okay? We're going to start a Twitch channel really soon because I want to show how good I am at video games.
To be honest, it's nothing new, as many wrestlers have become streamers. Kudos to Rusev for trying out a new market. Next up, a returning WWE superstar is getting a big push. Now you know what we all want on the Red brand. We want to see a match between Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre, the former 3MB teammates. Well, it appears that might actually happen, as Sportskeeda's Tom Colohue recently revealed that McIntyre's next challenger could be Jinder Mahal. Speaking on Dropkick discussions, Colohue explained that it won't be easy for Jinder to get back to the level that he once was. But he's a tremendous heel and he will get the heel heat. That's exactly what Drew McIntyre needs right now. However, the only problem is that there's no crowd to boo him to get that heel heat. But with that being said, there is a huge new television deal that WWE are going to have on in India, and they want to push someone who appeals to that market. So Jinder Mahal, whether he's getting championship opportunities or not, he's definitely going to be pushed hard. Now whether you love Jinder or not, he is a great heel. He can get that heel heat, and that's exactly what Drew McIntyre needs as a top babyface. Would you guys like to see Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre? Two former 3MB teammates at it? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, who won this week's Wednesday Night War? A week 32 of the Wednesday Night War saw a familiar finish with Dynamite triumphing in the ratings. According to PW Insider's Dave Shearer, yesterday's AEW episode did 732,000 overnight viewers, which was up from last week's 693,000. NXT on the other hand did 663,000, up from last week's 637,000. Now regardless of whether Dynamite won, it's good to see the numbers are going up for both shows, and they also improved in their demographics. In the 18 to 49 demographic, Dynamite came out on top with a 0.28 rating, good for the 12th best on cable from the day and up from last week's 0.27 rating. NXT drew a 0.18 rating in that demographic, which is 33rd best on cable and up from last week's 0.16. It's clear by now that the empty arena shows are hurting AEW and the WWE, but the Wednesday night shows are showing progress in the ratings compared to Raw and SmackDown, which can't catch a break. But whilst we're on the subject of ratings, WWE Backstage ratings are unfortunately down again. Now, this week's episode of WWE Backstage drew a sad 75,000 viewers and didn't even crack the top 150 shows of the evening. Even though it featured guests like Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black, it failed to cash in on the lead audience of 4 WWE specials, including the best of WWE's Brock Lesnar's most dominant matches and the best of WWE Roman Reigns' best WrestleMania matches, which actually drew 255,000 and 998,000 viewers respectively. We're just wondering when WWE is actually just going to give up on this show altogether. It's clearly just not bringing in the ratings. Next up, Zack Ryder, the big win that wasn't. Zack Ryder's win at WrestleMania 32 shocked the wrestling world when he secured the Intercontinental Championship in a 7-man ladder match. Things looked to be shaping up for Long Island IC, but his push was short-lived as he dropped the belt to The Miz the next night on Raw. Speaking with Chris Van Vliet, Ryder looked back on the win saying, "I did think after the IC title thing that now we're cooking. I think that people were taking me a little more seriously. At any job when you start, people look at you how you started then, so people were starting to look at me as this 20-year-old kid, and at the time I was a 30-year-old man. They were starting to finally realize, okay, this guy can still go. He's still popular. After all these years we haven't done anything with him, he's still popular. If they put me in a situation where their fans can believe in me, they do. I went to Kevin Dunn to get my music changed and updated, make it a rock version. I really thought this was going to be it. It wasn't. The Zack Ryder story is one of the many puzzling pseudo-pushes that seemingly came out of nowhere and evaporated just as quickly. Case in point, Ricochet's United States Championship win in 2019, followed by his quick loss to AJ Styles and subsequent drop down the WWE ladder. Next up, a new heel faction on Raw. It looks like fans may be seeing a new heel faction on Raw, at least according to this week's Wrestling Observer. As we mentioned in past videos, the WWE may be turning Apollo Crews heel, and according to the Observer, Crews was given off heel tendencies on last week's Raw, and it's been speculated he'll be part of a stable headed by MVP that would also include Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne. We've been given the impression that this is one of several options considered for Crews, but it's not necessarily the end direction. Heel factions are a good way for younger talent to get over, and Raw seems to be adding more factions as seen with Zelina Vega's group and what could be a new group with MVP. The key to success for factions or individual wrestlers getting over is a solid push and not the inconsistent pushes that have stymied the pushes of talent such as Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. And finally, Tony Khan's bizarre inspiration for Dynamite's empty arena shows. And last but not least, Tony Khan let the wrestling world in on a secret about booking empty arena shows. As we've seen, fans just don't react as positively to empty arena shows as they do with big crowds present. However, there's no denying there are ways to make empty arena shows more fun, as seen with Dynamite's presentation that featured wrestlers at ringside. For those wondering where AEW President Tony Khan got the inspiration for Dynamite's approach, here's what he had to say during an AEW Unrestricted podcast. "I watched other talk shows with no audience and they were kinda cold. The next day I was like, we can have a babyface side and a heel side. Then I thought of Saved by the Bell. Wouldn't it be cool if MJF and Shawn Spears were like Zack and Slater, making bets? While the idea of emulating Saved by the Bell may seem odd, the execution of Khan's idea of wrestlers betting on matches was hilarious, especially when announcer Tony Schiavone got in on the action. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.